every NFL head coach, from the totally inept to first-ballot legends, fits neatly within one of these 7 tiers. This framework has held firm throughout every era of football's long history, and although most never progress beyond level 4, those who reach level 7 are remembered eternally. But first, we've got to cover what defines level 1. At level 1, these represent the coaches who should have never been given a head coaching role. They truly had no clue what they were doing, entirely overwhelmed by the situation. And so, let's begin with the worst head coach ever, Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer with the Jacksonville Jaguars delivered a masterclass example in failing to adapt from college to the NFL. He finished 2-11 across only 13 games before being dismissed midway through the 2021 season. Yet, the record alone doesn't begin to capture how disastrous the situation truly was. Meyer's defining moment came when he was filmed at a bar beside a woman who wasn't his wife dancing on him while he was supposed to focus on correcting an 0-14 start. And somehow, that wasn't even the most humiliating part of his entire tenure. Later reports revealed that he verbally attacked players, labeling them losers and building a toxic culture that made veterans question if they even wanted to continue playing football at all. The man literally kicked his own kicker, Josh Lambo, during practice. Seriously, who even does something like that? Then there's Bobby Petrino of the Atlanta Falcons. He posted a 3-10 record over 13 games in 2007. Before literally walking away mid-season, not fired, he abandoned them completely. He left behind a 4-sentence resignation, note inside the players' lockers, and vanished to accept the Arkansas position. Josh McDaniels deserves a special mention because he somehow managed to fail spectacularly, twice. He failed once in Denver and then again with the Raiders. McDaniels' time in Denver was a masterclass in pure arrogance. He traded away Brandon Marshall, cut Peyton Hillis, and completely dismantled the team. Chemistry that had once kept them competitive. His 2010 campaign was so disastrous they went 3-9 in his 12 games, with players publicly questioning his decisions. Yet somehow, Las Vegas believed he earned another chance, but they were completely mistaken. McDaniels showed that some coaches simply never learn, finishing 6-11 in 2022 and beginning 3-5 in 2023 before being dismissed again. He's also the only coach ever to lose to Jeff Saturday, 2 entirely separate franchises, yet the same miserable outcome. We also have to mention Nathaniel Hackett with the Denver Broncos. He finished 4-11 through just 15 games in 2022 before being let go, and it became obvious after his very first game that he wasn't prepared. His defining moment occurred in that opener against Seattle when he chose a 64-yard field goal attempt instead of letting Russell Wilson, the quarterback they traded everything for and extended long-term, try converting a first down. The kick failed, they lost, and that moment dictated the entire season from that point. All of these coaches exhibit the same defining characteristics. They were thoroughly unprepared for NFL responsibilities, made awful choices under pressure, and fostered environments that made their teams even worse. Level 1 coaches don't merely lose games. They ruin franchises, squander player potential, and set entire organizations back for years. They're the reason certain teams become laughingstocks, and why talented players demand trades. Now, Level 2 coaches were solid coordinators, but not truly effective head coaches. They accomplished enough success at earlier stops to earn promotions. They aren't utterly incompetent like Level 1, but they simply lack the full skill set required to succeed as head coaches. So, to begin, we'll start with Cliff Kingsbury. This guy possessed an innovative offensive mind that drew major attention. But when it came to being a complete head coach, he couldn't quite bring it all together. Across 4 seasons, he went 28-37-1, with a lone playoff appearance ending in a first-round defeat. Then there's Dennis Allen, who's actually failed twice as an NFL head coach, though his coordinator abilities remain evident. His first run with Oakland was absolutely brutal, 8-28 over 2.5 years before. Being fired 4 games into 2014, Allen's second opportunity with the Saints turned out somewhat better. He went 18-25 over 2.5 seasons, including a respectable 9-8 finish in 2023, but never managed to push the Saints past mediocrity. And when they started 2-7 in 2024, he was fired again just 9 games into the season. That brings us to Mike McDaniel today. He embodies the modern interpretation of this level completely. His offensive coordinator tenure in San Francisco was outstanding. helping craft one of the most inventive rushing schemes in recent NFL memory. That success landed him the Miami job, and his first 2 years looked promising, 9-8 in 2022 and 11-6 in 2023, but here's the truth about McDaniel. Both of his playoff runs ended with first-round eliminations, and once the pressure built up in 2024, everything completely fell apart. The Dolphins finished 8-9 that year and failed to make the postseason, and right now, they're 0-3 in 2025 as I record this video. You can also include coaches like Jonathan Gannon and Raheem Morris in this category. All Level 2 coaches share nearly identical narratives. They were exceptional in previous positions, showed enough potential to land head coaching jobs, but couldn't elevate to overseeing an entire organization. Level 3 coaches, meanwhile, are genuinely competent, not overwhelmed or simply upgraded coordinators. They can control a locker room and lead their squads to wins, sometimes even playoff success. But they aren't truly elite coaches. Ron Rivera serves as the ideal representation of this entire tier. Across 13 seasons divided between Carolina and Washington, he earned 102 victories, 103 losses, and 2 ties. He's literally the textbook definition of average Todd. Bowles fits neatly within this category as well. His present tenure in Tampa Bay perfectly demonstrates what level 3 coaching embodies him: steady handling of a capable roster. Through 3.5 years, he's compiled a 30-24 record with the Buccaneers, including 3 consecutive playoff trips. Bill O'Brien is another quintessential example of a level 3 coach. During his Houston stretch, he posted 52 wins and 48 defeats across 6.5 seasons, reaching the postseason 4 different times. The Texans captured the AFC South several times under O'Brien, proving he wasn't awful, but they never appeared to be true championship contenders, and Zach Taylor currently stands as the modern representative of this level. 3-tier, his Bengals sit at 48-53-1 over the span of 6 seasons, but he did guide them to the Super Bowl in 2021 and reached the playoffs 3 separate times. However, Taylor's teams are often inconsistent and notoriously slow starters. They followed that Super Bowl appearance with a 9-8 record and missed the postseason, then rebounded with a division crown before missing the playoffs again. That's classic level 3 coaching. Strong enough to compete, but too inconsistent to dominate. You can also include Kevin O'Connell, Sean McDermott, and Buddy Ryan in this group. They're the type of coaches who make fans say, "It could be worse," instead of, "We're definitely winning it all." And honestly, that's not necessarily a bad place to be. Most organizations would gladly accept this level of steady competence, even if it doesn't reach greatness. Level 3 is where many NFL coaches hit their ceiling. And truthfully, that's not awful. These men can deliver a decade of respectable football. And sometimes that's precisely what a franchise requires. Level 4 coaches are the slightly above average head coaches in the NFL. Matt LaFleur is the perfect example of what this level looks like. The Packers under LaFleur have been consistently competitive for several years. 3 consecutive 13-win seasons from 2019 through 2021 proved he can sustain excellence. His offensive approach worked beautifully with Aaron Rodgers and later adjusted smoothly. For Jordan Love, Doug Peterson demonstrates both the peak and the limits of level 4 coaching as well, a 64-66-1 record across 8 seasons. Yet that 2017 Super Bowl title with Nick Foles was extraordinary. That championship run proved Peterson could coach at an elite level when everything aligned perfectly. His stint in Jacksonville has been solid, though far from spectacular. 22-29 over 3 seasons with 1 playoff trip and a single postseason win. Nick Sirianni serves as another current representation of this level 4 group. He's 51-20 through 5 seasons with the Eagles, earning a Super Bowl championship in 2024 and another appearance in 2022. His career winning rate sits just below 72%, ranking among the highest ever recorded. Dan Campbell fits this tier seamlessly, having completely reshaped Detroit into the dominant force it is now. You can also place Mike McCarthy, Bruce Arians, John Gruden, Jim Harbaugh, Barry Switzer, and Mike Holmgren here too. These level 4 coaches all share the same core ability, building competitive rosters that can occasionally contend for titles. They're clearly better than average and capable of maintaining success over multiple seasons. The only question is whether they can perform at that elite standard consistently rather than just brushing it occasionally. Level 5 coaches are strong too, elite leaders who could realistically reach the Hall of Fame. Kyle Shanahan embodies this tier perfectly. He owns a 73-62 record across 8 seasons with the 49ers, capturing 2 NFC titles and appearing in 2 Super Bowls. That 2019 campaign was outstanding, finishing 13-3 and going head-to-head with the future dynasty led by Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. He repeated that run in 2023, pushing the contest into overtime. He's now 0-2 in Super Bowls, suffering late-game breakdowns in both appearances. His squads remain consistently competitive, making 5 playoff trips in 8 years. But he still must finally capture a title to cement Hall of Fame status. Sean Payton's career resume also fits. Comfortably at this level, he's compiled 171 wins and 107 losses through 18 seasons of sustained excellence with New Orleans. Payton's main shortcoming is producing just 1 Super Bowl victory despite years of elite offensive dominance. His Saints teams were regularly among the best, yet never managed to reclaim the championship peak. The Minneapolis Miracle and multiple playoff heartbreaks limited him to that single ring. His current stint has been respectable overall, but he'll need more championship caliber success to secure his Hall of Fame case. The same statement applies to John Harbaugh. He captured a Super Bowl title in 2012, but since then, both before and after Lamar Jackson, his teams have repeatedly fallen short. Even though he remains an excellent coach and wins consistently, seasons like 2019, 2023, and 2024 all ended just a bit disappointingly. Other names at this level include George Seifert, Tom Coughlin, Chuck Knox, and Sean McVay. These are high-level coaches who've repeatedly proven they belong among the NFL's best. The lingering question is whether they'll add enough accomplishments to reach coaching immortality. And that brings us to level 6. These are unquestioned Hall of Fame locks, assuming they're not already enshrined. Chuck Noll stands as the ultimate benchmark for this category. He earned 193 wins, 148 losses, and 1 tie across 23 seasons with Pittsburgh, claiming 4 Super Bowl trophies during the 1970s. Noll transformed the struggling Steel Curtain Steelers from a 1-13 disaster in his first year into a dynasty that captured 4 titles in 6 seasons. Jimmy Johnson showcases the other path to Hall of Fame: greatness. His tenure was relatively brief, yet incredibly dominant throughout. Level 6, the icons who defined eras. Jimmy Johnson's Cowboys dynasty was a masterclass in team building. His triplets, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin, embodied balance, toughness, and star power. Johnson didn't just win, he created a championship culture almost overnight. The 1992 Cowboys went 13-3 and rolled through the playoffs 3-0 to lift the Lombardi. Then they did it again the very next year. Pete Carroll represents longevity and sustained excellence. In 14 seasons with Seattle, he's won 137 games, a Super Bowl, and made another appearance, all while building one of the most dominant defenses ever. The Legion of Boom Mike Tomlin defines consistency. 18 seasons, 0 losing records. That's unheard of in today's NFL. With 183 wins, 103 losses, 2 ties, and a Super Bowl title, Tomlin proves that steady leadership can be as powerful as any scheme, and they're in elite company. Legends like Mike Ditka, Joe Gibbs, Bill Parcells, Mike Shanahan, Dick Vermeil, Tony Dungy, Bill Cowher, and Tom Landry. These coaches didn't just win games, and they defined eras. From the Steel Curtain to the Cowboys dynasty to the Legion of Boom, Level 6 is where football became legacy. Level 7, the greatest to ever do it, at the peak cite 7 names, the coaches who redefined the game itself. Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, Don Shula, George Halas, Paul Brown, Bill Walsh, and Vince Lombardi. Belichick is the modern standard of coaching mastery. 296 wins, 6 Super Bowls, and a complete command of every detail. Game planning, personnel, in-game adjustments, he turned the Patriot way into football's holy grail. Andy Reid is the definition of offensive innovation. Across 27 seasons, 274 wins, and 3 Super Bowls, he's transformed the Chiefs into a dynasty. Even back in Philadelphia, he squeezed every ounce out of every roster. Don Shula owns the all-time wins record, 328 victories, 2 Super Bowls, and the NFL's only perfect season in 1972. Pure coaching brilliance across 3 decades. George Halas was the founding father of professional football. 40 seasons, 318 wins, and 5 NFL titles. and the only coach to win championships in 4 different decades. Paul Brown invented modern coaching, face masks, playbooks, film study, full-time staffs, all his innovations. With 329 wins and 7 championships, he literally rewrote how football is played. Bill Walsh reshaped offense forever with the West Coast system: precision, timing, rhythm. 3 Super Bowls in 10 seasons and an 80s dynasty no one could touch. And then there's Vince Lombardi, the name on the trophy itself. 5 championships in 7 years, including the first 2 Super Bowls. His leadership, attention to detail, and demand for perfection made him the gold standard. These 7 didn't just win. They defined greatness. They built the game's history, its systems, and its culture. When you talk about the greatest coaches in NFL history, these are the names that rise above everyone else. They mastered their craft, elevated their players, and left legacies that will last forever.